We're still doing preparing the live stream. There'll be another 30 or 40 seconds.
Oh, good. I was gonna head over there, but I'm pooped.
Yes, well, so are the rest of us. I was in City Hall from 10 o'clock till 3 o'clock.
Oh.
For our Cultural Heritage Commission hearings. The 2 nominations that are established, one from C10, one from C. But we were at the dead end of a really long agenda. So I don't need to stay a lot.
We're gonna have a quick meeting tonight.
So I'm trying to figure out why this. Oh. So I don't know, Polycom camera is working-ish. Whenever you want.
I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Sun.
Thank you.
Is it Sunmin or Sun?
Sunmin.
Welcome, Sunmin. Welcome, Laura. Today we'll have 2 introductions if we already.
We do not,
Okay.
but we do need to do what you said we do.
Yes, we're gonna review the agenda and we'll have general public comments. If there's anything that's not on the agenda that we want to talk about, then we will.
I have 2.
You have 2. Laura has 2. Then we will do just a recap of the corporate supported community literacy incentive. There were some action items, so I'll talk about that. We have bid discussion, and then we have working with other UNNC committees and the old business, and then we'll adjourn. Okay, so
Stop the share.
yeah, so public comment.
And like I said, I have 2. This is Laura speaking. I'm going to share the screen for one of them. Just sharing a local event that is being held at one of our within UNNC coffee houses, but it happens to be something we're generally interested in, which is KYCC is doing a tree giveaway, but in this case, they're doing it in collaboration with Black Line Coffee and Start Los Angeles, which are 2 spaces located at 2268 Venice Boulevard in Harvard Heights, so just east of Western. And this event is on this coming Saturday, July 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And again, it's being sponsored by Koreatown Youth and Community Center, KYCC. The owner of the premises is Steve Wallace, who's one of our front board.
I think
Right, very, very engaged, though not coming to this committee at the moment, but very engaged with economic development in our community. Oh, I'm sure you probably know.
Who is this?
And
Who is this?
Steve Wallace. His name is Steve Wallace, and his wife is Eileen Amen. They live in Harvard Heights, and like I said, he owns these premises. He owns some other buildings. They do trash cleanup every week. I mean, they're just very engaged. Start LA is a couple of things. Next to the coffee house, same building, is a gallery space that's a rented out gallery space. So in other words, Steve is not deal, but various gallerists will temporarily rent that space. UNNC's in the past had meetings there. It's more difficult now with all the new rules for everything. And the rear part is in who specializes in street art. So it's an interesting space, and there's a covered patio.
Is this the space that used to be Alibi?
It is the space that used to be Alibi, and it's also the space where we UNNC and Harvard Heights Association and West Adams Heights / Sugar Hill Association. We're gonna have a pop-up later in the summer for our master.
Right.
So anyway, that's one announcement that I have stuff to share. And the other announcement, which Robbie already knows, is that displeased and pleased. The longtime Wellington Square Farmers Market, which is held on Sundays from 9 to 1 on Washington Boulevard in Wellington Square, is essentially being forced to move. But they're being forced to move into UNNC. And starting in late October, will be still Washington Boulevard, but essentially on the library parking lot and 12th Avenue, kind of spread across those two spaces, and maybe very likely also utilizing little parks in between as the place where the band musicians would be represented. So we will have fun tomorrow.
Very exciting.
Which is very exciting, and also that means assuming more board members step up and would agree to help out when we table, it will give us a place to table on a more regular basis. Do that, not be
Every and Saturday.
they meet on Sundays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a very nice little farmers market, very community driven. They're hoping to be able to retain the people from Wellington Square and Lafayette Square who go every weekend, because it's only a few blocks east, but also in Heights, maybe a more visible farmers market. But anyway. So I think it's pretty exciting, although I really like where it is currently. So in that sense, I'm not excited. But for us, it's an opportunity to do more outreach, in particular because of NC elections. Be able to have a place we know we can go to do our outreach for the so that is my 2 announcements.
I guess
Right. Thank you. Yes.
now that you mentioned it, it would be great to see if in preparation for the elections to see that we have a little bio or a little blurb about each board member and each, to find out what are their interests, what are they planning on doing, like what are their pet projects or their causes, so that at least we know, like, oh, if this person is really into gardening, then we can go to that person, or if this person's really into the bids, we can go to that person. So I would love to see something like that. I don't know if you're planning on doing something like that for the elections, but on the website again,
Yeah.
I wanting to see more information there about the board members and all the projects and stuff. So making that more of a useful tool.
Right. Anyone who runs for election does provide a candidate statement to the city clerk. So the NC neighborhood council elections, which you may not know because we probably were at the board meeting, but our election will be held on June 12th of 2027. So just under a year from now. And it's wide open. Anyone can sign up. So it's not just the board members. But everyone who runs for election in that process is afforded the opportunity to create a candidate statement. That might be a little bit different than what you're saying. And putting little bios with a specific word count, so they're all the same length on our website, would be up to Hunter to kind of spearhead that project. So you have to essentially, monitor and get everybody to write their own, and
That would be really helpful. I would really love to see that as a stakeholder.
It's a good idea. It's just, again, who implements it would be Hunter.
Okay.
I mean, and it would be Ann Zumwinkle who ultimately posts it, but I mean, it would be Hunter who manages that process.
Okay. And then the other thing is, we Jefferson Park Watch. Last week I had to walk with Alan Moritz from Karen Bass's office and walked him around Jefferson Park, and he showed up at Jefferson Park Watch And it was really nice for him to like tell us, something about, I mean, I guess I will bring it up later, but he did mention that, the Shine LA, Karen Bass, we talked about that because he was like, if you want to do some cleanup kind of stuff, Karen Bass has this program called Shine LA. And I was like, oh yeah, I heard about that. And he's like, I want to get Elizabeth hooked into that because I know she wants to do the cleanup. And then I saw, Rabia, you had that on the agenda. So I thought I'd let you know that, he also is wanting to be part of that or bring that to
For
the
the
10.
item on,
Yeah, but
okay, that's not,
it's not, this
that's
is
not
not the same
that.
thing.
No, I know, but just a general corporate cleanup, any kind of cleanup kind of projects or ideas that people might want to have. He's he's bringing, he's saying that Karen Bass's office has this program and he's now, looking to do, be here at CD10 and UNNC and be involved with Jefferson Park and, he wants to be involved. So, you know, just letting you know that he was just talking about that.
Thank you.
I think there's a reason why we.
And also, now that Teresa's part of it, I've been trying to tell him about our need for water of the trees because you brought up that there are trees to be planted. And I told him, look, we need water for these trees. And so the last thing he said to me was, water's expensive. And I'm like, I know, but look at, what's happening with LADWP today, with the probably millions of wasted water and on Sunset Boulevard. And then, of course, my neighbor who's wasted probably millions of gallons of water as well. But, we have plenty of trees, but no water, then what's the point? So I've been pushing him for like, hey, we need some water.
Hi Teresa, we're doing general public comment now. Do you have any comments?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so the first item on the agenda is kind of just a follow-up to what we were talking about, corporate supported community litter cleanup incentive program that Ed brought to us. I think Laura, I did email outreach about getting a list of nonprofits. I didn't hear back, but Laura said she has one, so she's gonna send that to me, so we'll have that for next time. And
So this is Laura speaking. Just remind us what this idea was, because it's different than what Elizabeth is trying to do with actual, and she actually did a cleanup last week.
yeah, and this is not really this idea still has a lot of like, what does it want to be? Who's it for? What is our ask exactly? Like, are we trying to, this is for my environmental purposes, this is get homeless jobs, and how do we put pressure on major corporations to clean up, like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, all on that corridor? And if they're the problem, like, are we asking them to just clean up their trash, to take responsibility for it? How do we put pressure on them? Or do we want a nonprofit to start a program that enlists homeless people in the area who need money to clean up and
Paid for by
it? So this is kind of a really big idea, and we need to figure out who wants to spearhead that, which direction wants to go, and what exactly our ask is. The action item was to identify nonprofits in the community who might be able to join and partner with us on this.
Okay.
But even that, I think we need to identify the nonprofits and see who's in the area and which perspective they have. Like, is it environmental? Is it a community jobs program? Or is there some other thing? So this is kind of like a bigger project that we would need someone to spearhead to really decide which way to go. And we can continue to talk about it and identify some nonprofits in the area that might be interested to be partners with us. But it is big.
Okay.
So, I do think that we'll continue to explore this a little bit and see if something catches, if we find the right sort of partnership or perspective. But right now, I'm not sure how much Ed wants to do with this. And it's a great idea, but we would need a lot of people to get involved to sort of get this off the ground.
So,
Yes,
so this is Laura speaking again. I've made the commitment, and Teresa, you've probably, remember that every December, we create a list at the Census Heritage about all the local nonprofits. So I've just committed to figure out where it is from last December and forward that to Robbie. Because that's a 30 or 35 entity list that she could start with.
yeah,
So, because Sandra, I don't remember Sandra volunteering. Were we, did
She
we
didn't, I-
volunteered?
no, I just reached out to outreach, hoping they would have a list of, nonprofits in UNNC.
Got it.
But,
Oh, I do.
but
So,
Laura does, so I get it.
okay, I will. Take this down and put my review.
I can email you, that's why I said I can email you.
Email me and then I can get it. All right.
All right, so that is my action item. I'm going to email Laura for this on. Okay,
For this next item, did you want me to log to the VLT website?
no. It just says, wait, are there any more comments on the item number 3 or
Nothing for me.
No. Sunmin?
No, but if you could can you angle the computer a little bit so it's.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's fine, it's fine. I'm just, never mind. I'm like behind Frida anyway, so. But
Okay, so. We're just bringing a table.
it's fine, it's fine. It's just,
Wait, Laura. And how is this though?
Right, but Laura's not sitting down. We can see you clearly, but when Laura comes back, I don't know. Maybe it'll be fine if she can still use the
Here.
computer.
As long as I don't use a computer, getting
oh,
my
don't break your
exercise.
back. Don't break your back.
Look
I'm
at
sorry I mentioned it. I'm sorry I mentioned it.
her. It's okay. How's that?
Oh, there, it's fine, it's back, it's back.
Okay,
Okay, great,
there we
Oh,
go.
and now I feel like I'm in the room.
Okay.
okay,
So
all right,
now we know that this is a good setup.
that is a good setup. Okay, so now,
Okay. so
item
let's
number 4, we've been having this discussion about a bid for Jefferson Boulevard. Pico Boulevard has the Pico bid. They have a meeting on August 4th. Can anyone attend? Like, I am filming August 4th, 5th, and 6th, so it would be difficult for me to attend, but I will attempt it.
And what's
Is it in person or is it online?
Pardon?
Is it in person or online or both hybrid?
In person, let me just double check.
Well, and that's why I asked, you know what? Like, oops, wrong place.
See, it didn't really say.
Okay, I am gonna share their website, maybe. See if we can see. So this is their website,
Yeah, it's down. Scroll down.
and that's a great video, by the way, about the fluke.
That's it. That's the meeting.
Using team, learn,
That's all it says.
click on learn more.
To email them. So I'll email them and find out.
Well, crap. Do they have the agenda anywhere?
Documents, but I don't think they have the upcoming.
Got it.
They don't.
What's the address? I mean, is it closer to the downtown or is it closer to?
Oh, no. Where is it? It's on Pico Boulevard from Western going east.
Yes, I know. I'm asking where the meeting is going to be held. Is that
I,
closer to Western or closer to downtown?
I think it's probably at St. Sophia's, the community.
okay.
That's what we're trying to figure out. And we're not,
Can you click on that, Laura?
well, we can, but
No, come down. Yeah, come down some more where it says
Oh.
BLQ board meeting. Can you click on that?
here, I'm on agendas. I'm just gonna click. Well, I'll click on the February 10th agenda. Yeah, at least that one was in person at the, community room, Huffington Center at St. Sophia's, which is the same place that we did our fire.
Yes, I remember. I remember.
So
All right,
I don't know that this necessarily means that they always meet there, but I don't know, can you
Scroll down
guys?
just a little, Laura, so I can see what they have normally on their agenda.
Actually, it looks kind of interesting. LAPD, the council office. I've had not present.
County.
Am I going too fast or too slow?
No, keep going. It's good speed. Okay, so Robbie,
I think I might be able to make it.
you want us to go to just
Well, if we're interested in a bid, I think we need to go see a bid that's happening in our in the UNNC area, and then see if it's something that we want to pursue. Like, see what someone else is doing. Can we get that here? Ask them for advice, how they got started.
Sure. And this is Laura speaking, and I think that even if we aren't interested ultimately in a bid on Jefferson, I am interested in having, especially now that I looked at that agenda, a relationship of any sort with this entity that is within our footprint. Because I know one of the things they are doing is working with the food vendors, the actual street vendors, to get them to deliver all of their leftover food to Loyola for their composting program rather than to the trash cans on the city streets. And I think they're trying to expand that to the brick and mortar restaurants as well. So it's, for example, that's a program that we would love to know about, probably support if we can. Teresa.
Yes, hi. Yes, Teresa.
thanks. The airplane was going by. I would also, Laura, is it possible while we're chatting for you to pull up the West Adams BID? Someone reached out to me regarding the trees along there. I guess some of them were improperly pruned, and they asked if I could go speak at the West Adams BID to find out what contractor they used and some other tree related issues. So if I'm doing that, I wouldn't mind finding out about their organization and how they work, where I could knock out both things at the same time. Since we're just kind of like on an expedition together.
Can you guys see what I just did?
Yes.
Yeah, when is their meeting?
I don't know. I haven't ever looked at their website until now.
For some reason, Laura, you have like black bars across.
I don't. It's just a reflection of the way my day is going. I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, here's the calendar. Where? Right there. Welcome to West Side. Right there.
Yeah, I see a calendar. See,
is it the 20th? Today's the 20th. Oh no, maybe it's on the 20th. The 20th is highlighted.
This is an event calendar, so I don't know.
What does it say?
It just says delicious pizza.
It doesn't say anything about it.
That's not where they're having their meeting.
Oh yes.
Okay, so their meeting
is next Monday, July 20th, 5:30 p.m. at Delicious Pizza in their lounge.
Do they have an agenda, Laura? Do you know?
Oh, maybe. See next slide. No. That's
Yeah,
bad.
go to that. Yeah. Okay, I can go in and check.
Hold on, let me just double check my calendar.
Oh,
I think I can
Well,
make this meeting.
and not only that, I just saw one interesting thing on this thing that's sliding through. City of LA has mailed out expansion ballots, which would have been returned by July 1st. So apparently they're trying to make it larger. Whatever larger means for those of us who don't know what it is now. Guess they're on Instagram. I'm trying to see, it says see next, oh, wait. There we go. Can you see that we have an agenda now?
I just started to do my own search. Okay, yes. Let's see. Public comment, government office updates. Oh, street lighting. I guess they're gonna have a block party. Okay,
Oh, that was from the last one.
Well, okay, that
that's
is.
July 20th. Next, oh, maybe yes. I don't know.
Okay, so thank you for their agenda knowledge, but anyway, it's close, cigars, but we can see at least what they're doing.
All right, I'm gonna go to that one and also check it out. So I can do that
Right.
one. Sure.
So this is Laura, I may be able to accompany not to the school.
Okay, great.
I can do that.
Because of course I want to have meetings every single night of the first week of the month. But yeah, sure, but I can,
Let's do it.
let's
Well,
just do it.
if anybody else can join, please. And if not, that's okay.
I mean,
Or
certainly
maybe the,
at the St. Sophia's is going to be in a bigger room than the lounge at Delicious Pizza for the West Adams.
I might be able to go to the West Adams, but I'm also, I just want to say that as I'm walking up and down Jefferson Boulevard, there's just not enough businesses that are open that will have revenue to be able to pitch in. And I was just talking to Sharon at Share Club today, and she said that she was part of the whole, I know you guys know Sharon, right? Because she was part of UNNC in the meetings, and we were just talking about that. And she said, there's just, you walk down the boulevard in the UNNC footprint, and it's just all shuttered. Everything's shuttered. Or they're big, areas that are going to be sold for development.
Yeah,
But West Adams would be interesting. And I did talk to, at the Caesar's Walk and Talk, Emily from West Adams, their neighborhood council, she mentioned that their bid is very controversial. There are people who don't want to expand it because they're like, where's my money going to? And so it's very controversial. So that would be really good to see, like what it is within that bid to see what the issues are. But that, if you drive up and down that bid, which I've done, and I've also driven up and down the Pico bid, and I've seen the businesses on there, they're very flourishing areas where there's tax revenue. So, but sadly, Jefferson Boulevard is just shuttered.
well, I think that there's no harm in checking out other bids.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm
On
just
there.
saying. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
just-
necessarily think a bid on Jefferson Boulevard is where we're heading, but it's something we're exploring around.
yeah.
And Laura speaking again, trying to identify for the transcript. There's two kinds of bids. One is the business owner bid, which I think is the one that died a death, Jefferson. The other is the property bid where it comes out of the property taxes. And that's usually a little more sustainable because the building's still in there. But those building owners might well be, like you suggested, sort of land banking properties until they can be sold. So, that's a down the road.
Yeah, also like, the Pico bin has the sustainability composting thing, like, there's no reason why we can't figure out some sort of
No,
sustainability
not at all. I think it's great to
Or-
go to them.
out,
but it-
having, like, that's something that we can partner with, like, the environmental committee, which, is what for item number 5, like, I think that as economic development committee, we need to partner with the other committees to help them and also, like, help each other, because we can't do it without everyone's help. So I'm glad that I don't want to cut off the bid discussion if somebody wants to, but I do want to jump to number 5, unless anybody has any other final thoughts about the bid discussion.
I just want to say that I think it's a great idea to explore it, as I mentioned previously about Washington Boulevard. Yes, and I think we heard from Sandra Pruitt a few meetings ago that she had mentioned it to the barbershop owners and some of the people on Jefferson, and that they didn't have a lot of money to support something like that. But it doesn't mean that it's a great idea to explore. And also maybe it can, we're not talking about something that's going to happen overnight. These things take a long time. Gentrifying, renovating, revitalizing a community doesn't happen overnight. So I know people don't want to hear gentrification, but it takes a time. So we're just kind of planting the seed. I like where we're going with it, and we'll see how it grows. I'm not sure, Laura, did in a previous meeting, did you discuss the Walk on Washington event that happened?
Yeah,
okay. All right.
the first meeting of this committee, we did discuss that we'd have the Walk on Washington, that maybe we could do something on Jefferson.
Or Washington. I don't know why we can't go back to Washington again.
No, it was like.
It was like walk on Washington,
Right,
and then like jump around on Jefferson.
Jump on Jefferson.
Okay.
Crazy.
We were talking about both of them.
I have to go back now to the script, but it's a big deal to organize something like that, but it would be fun, and it would be fun to do it again on Washington. But more than fun, it draws attention. And Teresa, you missed the very, very first remark, general comments remark that I made, which is that the Wellington Square Farmers Market is moving to Arlington Heights as of the end of October. So to where we basically to the library parking lot and the spot we had our environmental fair on 12th Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Covering both. And anyway, so
are they going to block off the street every Sunday?
Every Sunday, but 60 feet only, sort of the same footprint that we had that event.
Oh, okay.
So the city council office decided that this is where it's moving to. I hope they talk to the neighbors, but because remember we had a little issue.
Yeah.
2 of the neighbors, not the others. But the point is,
and especially if they have music, because they do bring in. Yeah, so if you're a neighbor there, I do hope they,
Right, but also by moving it to that spot, maybe there could be a walk on Washington on a Sunday, not a Saturday, to incorporate.
And then I just want to confirm, it's the Washington Urban Branch Library?
Correct. But not on the library
parking lot, and I see the park.
Yeah, and then there's a park in the middle, and then there's a street.
And then there's Truffle Brothers.
Right, and yes, all of which, everything's closed on Sundays, but doesn't have to be, no. This might create some reason for Truffle Brothers to also be open.
Right.
For lunch that day, and for the new coffee roasters at the other end of the block to actually open retail. Because right now they're still just doing wholesale. So, but it also could be an impetus for another walk on Washington.
Yeah, and it's on October 25th.
October 25th.
That's when it moves.
Is the first
In October?
October 25.
Okay. And also, I'll just say, Rabia, just like I think at the last tree meeting or the one before that, Corinne had mentioned, oh, why don't we do something for Earth Day? You know, to do an Earth Day event takes a year in advance. I mean, it's not like the resource fair we did at, that Dolores and I did at Leslie Shaw, or even the one that Sandra did. An Earth Day event is, it takes a year of planning. So that could be, that's the same case with the Walk on Washington. It takes a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta, you know.
Right. And when we did the Walk on Washington, I know that's not on your agenda, and we're digressing, but Denise Jackson was in charge. And for all I know, she'd be willing to engage. She's still living here. She's still involved with, I mean, she works for CD8, not 10, but
Yeah.
you know.
We're
But
definitely
she
there now.
definitely had a committee that met with 15 to 20 people participating, including business owners. I mean, this was not just a little group of UNNC people. Now, you know, the library was involved, Arlington Heights Neighborhood Association. I mean, it was like a bigger thing and engaging more people. I think doing something like that on Jefferson is the same thing. We'd have to have a committee that included some of the business owners.
Yeah.
Well, you're good
Because
people down
they're-
there. I mean, you got Sandra Paul. There's some good people down there.
Oh, we've
who-
got some really good people, but I'm saying the business owners are the ones who come up with the ideas of, yeah, I'm gonna have a band in my parking lot to help more people come to my place during the Walk on Washington. And somebody else says, oh, no, but I'm gonna give away, well, Truffle Brothers gave away truffle pasta, not just pasta, truffle pasta.
Oh, trouble pasta.
Their signature, right? Because it was, they were all then one-upping each. So, you know, it was,
Sorry to
All right.
digress.
No, it's good. It's good conversation. So, all right, for just before we wrap it up, like I'm gonna go to the Monday West Adams bid meeting, and hopefully Laura's coming, and Teresa, are you speaking?
no, I'm not coming.
You know, I'm leaving.
Oh, no, Monday. You're not speaking.
Yeah, she's going to the one August 4th.
Okay,
I'm out of town. I leave out on Wednesday. I've got to go deal with my parents. So if I'm not feeling too pressured about trying to get out of here for 2 weeks, then yeah, maybe I'll come.
okay, no pressure. I'm gonna go check it out. It'll be interesting, and I'll ask some questions. And Sunman, if you would like to attend, please do, and if not, you know, it's okay. All right, so moving on to item number 5. Partnering, how can we partner with our other committees to make them more successful and our committee more successful? I think I went to the tree planting committee and the parks committee, and that was great. And our last meeting, we talked about trees for a very big portion of the meeting. So I think that we do want to like work with the tree planting committee and maybe figure out how we can partner to get more trees on Jefferson, to like get more of the cages off. Right? I think on Washington.
Yeah, there aren't any
Yeah.
cages in Jefferson, but yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's something we can, like, we have to, I mean, I'm gonna have to go to more meetings and hopefully get those people to contact economic development. And, you know, we'll all be going to meetings all the time. Laura already goes to every meeting.
I tried. No, I managed to, so sad for Teresa, I managed to leave before Teresa started the tree meeting because I was running back to work, was I not?
Oh, you
Yeah.
are.
I was, God, I mean, it's just been a couple of
Well,
weeks.
And I will tell you, I normally come to the public safety because Corinne supports me, so I try to support her. But I was on YouTube and I said, oh, she's got a big crowd tonight. And I saw Grace, so I'm not going to worry about it. And then when I saw you guys were talking about 31st Street, I actually texted, and then I called Dolores because I know that's something that's pressing for her. So then, because I was just watching on YouTube, so then I saw that she showed up and I said, okay, I don't have to go to that meeting. But just the same way you came to mine, Rabia, I said, oh, let me just come in tonight to see what's happening. you know.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I think that I want to go to the emergency meeting, was it this Monday?
It
But
was
yeah, I had have a
Well,
lot
we
of
had-
meetings all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
we had quite a crowd, but I also have to say, Laura speaking, planning and zoning, not the most recent meeting, but the one 2 weeks prior. Oh my God, there were 28 people.
Oh my God,
Yeah, and it was all about the liquor store. Pretty much. I mean, they sat through other items, but they came from the liquor store. So, which in some sense would overlap with economic development.
And actually, to be fair, Sunman, I think you
Oh,
go to
she
every
goes
meeting
to every
too.
meeting. Oh my God.
I go to every
Right?
meeting. I've been going to
Right.
every meeting for like almost every meeting for the last few months, just to learn about this
Right.
organization and like how to get involved and get things done. But tomorrow I'm going to go to the Baldwin Conservatory meeting because of Caesar's, he wants to do that TCC. And I've been advocating for that with the mayor's office saying, hey, we need somebody like street bureau or somebody. So
Yeah.
that's why I reached out to Alan, and he's been
Oh.
very responsive. So
Okay.
tomorrow I'm going to go to that Baldwin Conservatory because Gina Fields was saying they've got $70 million. And I'm like, hey, we need some of that. So I'm going to go find
But
out
once
how to do
again,
it.
you do understand that UNNC cannot be a recipient of those funds.
I know,
You
but I'm
have
not
to
UNNC.
partner. Yes, no. So you said we need some of that, so I thought you meant UNNC. I don't.
No,
when you-
that's why
oh,
I'm not Z
Okay.
stakeholder.
Unity, yeah.
Sorry.
And we can always advocate as individuals as well. So the reason why I didn't come on Monday to is because I went to the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council meeting because India Raman was speaking. And she said that CD4 got a lot of federal grant money. So I think we should try to get CD10. I don't know if they're getting federal grant money, but they should be getting federal grant money to work on the street lights and all this stuff. So like we need to.
So I think I didn't hear that, but my understanding of how it works, the federal grants come into the city and then they go into special accounts that are set up, and neighborhood councils can say, oh, not neighborhood councils, council districts can say, they write a motion to do, we'll say street lighting from account number 1234, which is a grant from the transportation, the federal transportation, whatever, all those things. So she didn't actually, CD4 did not get those funds. It comes into the city, but all the council districts have access to those funds. It depends on what their priorities are. So, and how much money is in each fund and how it can be allocated to each council district.
So, and that's good to know, but we should try to get CD10 to get some of those funds because at every meeting we talk about the streetlights being out, So like we need to, as a neighborhood council, we can put a little bit of pressure on CD10 to, do more work for our streetlights instead of waiting for assessment.
Sorry, I want to continue with what I'm saying. So, and Laura can chime in on this. Heather Hutt has used some of her discretionary funds to address the street lighting issues within CD10, not through any special accounts from federal grants or anything like that, but her actual discretionary funds. And as everybody here probably knows, there was a recent vote that came in from LADWP asking us if we wanted to increase our property taxes to pay for street lighting so it could reduce it instead of a year to 2 weeks or something like that. And the voters voted no. So I don't know if we should be talking about street lighting because I don't think for me, it's a priority, but I don't know about everybody else. But I understand where you're going with that. Sorry, go ahead, Laura.
Okay, so Laura, sorry. But we do get federal funds. Teresa, you had mentioned at some point that Sydney Comlager identified some funds for something that I don't remember, but it must have been a green project. There were two different things came in from Sydney Comlager. One was from the the Baldwin Hills Conservancy. So it's a nonprofit. So
that didn't come through the city, it came through a nonprofit for a project on Slauson. And it was $500,000 for that project, but it wasn't the city, but it was a nonprofit. So it's not, only the city can do it, but it's not like regular people can do it. Nonprofits are doing it. They come up with projects like we came up with the project with TPL that, you know, and then what was the other part of that, Laura? The
Well-
other City Common Library. Oh, she did something for funding for urban gardening, and that is some of the funds that were allocated to the Gramercy Apartments who have the green garden on that. So yes, you can, but once again, that came in through the housing, the Hollywood Housing or whatever, through a nonprofit.
Yeah,
But in addition, there is a federal grant is not the right word. There's federal funding that is paying for the mobility hub at Expo and Crenshaw. So 6,
That's Metro though. Isn't that coming through Metro?
it's coming from the federal government, maybe
To
coming
whom, Laura? To
Metro,
Metro.
but not from Metro. It's not Metro funds. And it's 6 sites. It somehow relates to the Olympics. They didn't choose all the train stations. They chose 6, one of which is ours. Did we know about it in advance? We did not.
No, because Metro applied. Metro has their own, as all the other city organizations, their own strategies, their own projects. So they advocate and apply to get those fundings. But where we could make a difference is if we go to Metro like we've been doing and saying, hey, we need this, we need that. So then when they go to get these grants or whatever they're doing, they're like, well, we already have community involvement for that, community outreach, and you know.
maybe we could have, I mean, Nithya came to the Sherman Oaks meeting and spoke. Maybe Heather Hutt would like to come to our meeting and speak as well and let us know updates about CD10 so we can.
Laura speaking, well, you're saying so that the rest of the public, it's not a bad idea, but Kamani's idea is that every 3 months we go to
Yes,
them,
yeah.
which is more private than public, so I'm not sure that we shouldn't have Heather plan to ask Heather to come, make a commitment to come at least once a year. Where it's more general public. But
Just
it's
to-
not as if we have that many more general public people.
Well, I think
But we are
that,
at least broadcasting on YouTube.
yeah, and at the Sherman Oaks meeting, they said it was full because, I mean, I know she, but a lot of people came, but she was only allowed to speak about CD10, CD4, yeah. So like, but it was nice to have your representative come and update you on everything that they've been doing.
I understand. I just had this conversation with Mike 4 days ago. And he was basically saying, it's time.
I want to do that too.
Well, I can say to Connie, let's make the next one where she comes in person to Army. And see how that goes. I mean, in other words, every office works differently.
You were fading in and out of there for a minute, Laura. You said
I'm
you
so
spoke with
sorry.
Kimani.
I'm just saying, Kamani had indicated to me and Ally on Friday, we were all here for the movie, that it was time for another meeting, UNNC with Heather. But based on what Robbie is saying, I could follow up and say, we should have at least one of these meetings with Heather in our public, in their offices on Saturday morning, if they would agree to that. But again, every council office is different. I know that UNNC's not only sometimes goes to the North Area Empowerment Congress, they're mostly on Zoom, and I don't go to their Zoom meetings. It's the same night as ours usually, but I was able to go to their December meeting because for whatever reason, it wasn't the same night as ours, was in person, and UNNC stayed the entire meeting, which was surprising because most council members don't have time to do that, but you basically torturously, because it was a really long meeting, stayed the entire time to listen to people and what they were thinking on a variety of topics. I don't know that I've ever seen a CD10 person do that.
Council. Yeah, I don't know. And I will say that the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council is very, very influential. So maybe that's why Nithya felt she needed to go
Right.
there. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we can be influential too.
Okay, well, let's just say this. I think what I'm gonna say to Kamani is, you know, it'd be nice if she did that. It would be better if whichever deputy is coming to stay our entire meeting. Because they tend to leave. Well, no, because
You're talking about the governing board meeting?
I do mean the governing board meeting. When Jeff Camp was the assigned deputy, or when Billy Green was the assigned deputy, they stayed the entire meetings. But that was in part because it was in the council office meeting space. They had to lock the doors at the end. But it also meant that they were able to tell the rest of the staff at their staff meetings all the things that we were discussing, and not just what we were discussing in front of them. But you know, it wasn't just them talking to us, but they could stay and
Yeah.
so that would be useful too.
Sunmin,
I might say something, please don't take it in a negative way. I'm going to just try to be as constructive as possible, as I've been so intrigued by attending all of these UNNC meetings. But one thing I have noticed is that the stakeholders are not vested in joining. It doesn't seem like these meetings are, bustling with people. And so I would wonder, like, can we do more to do outreach for more stakeholders to be involved? Because the stakeholders I talk to about UNNC in my neighborhood, they say, oh, we used to go, but they don't go anymore. And I'm wondering why.
I think that's great. Sandra Pruitt is in charge of outreach. That definitely falls within her wheelhouse. She should absolutely be coming up with some pamphlets or flyers or
I thought she said something very important at the last governing meeting. She said, why are the governors not being involved? She wanted to see everybody at all the events. And so I think she started there, and I thought, I agree. Although Teresa, you, Laura, and Ravia and Caesar, you guys are on a lot of meetings and you guys are very supportive, but a lot of the other governors, I don't see them and I don't see where everybody else is. So I'm just,
well, let me just ask. I agree with you, and we've had this discussion many, many times. Pre-pandemic, we had a lot of community participation. As Laura mentioned, it was at the council district's office in person. During the pandemic, we had a lot of participation because everybody was able to join us on Zoom. And then when we did this hybrid thing, we kind of lost people. We had a communications person, Raheem, and the other woman, Gabby, who redesigned our website, our logo, everything. And we had a lot of momentum. But as you probably know by now, Sunmin, that each committee is only as strong as the person who's leading it. So if Lord, we have the planning and zoning, boom, everybody who's concerned about liquor stores or illegal dumping or vacant lots or whatever, they come to that planning and zoning. The people who are interested in trees, sometimes they come and they go. Other committees, it depends on what they're trying to do. And I would say that, yes, Teresa, Laura, Rabia, Karine, there are some people who try to participate in all of the things. And many board members are on the board for other reasons, or they only have a single focus. So, but it's, for me, if someone is saying to the other governing board members, they need to participate more, I'd like to see that person participate more, because we're having a meeting tonight. There was a meeting yesterday. There was a meeting Monday, and I didn't see, certain people at those meetings. So we probably do need to have a comprehensive, how can we get more people involved? Robbie, one other thing I want to mention, I think, Son, you mentioned about at another call, the flag post. We used to have some beautiful UNNC flags. I forgot what what are they called, Laura?
banners.
Banners.
Oh, banners.
Thank you. Yes. And then over time, they were destroyed. They wore out. And a few years ago, when Lizzie was communications or outreach, I said, hey, let's explore that again. Oh, it's too expensive, too expensive. But I think it'd be something to explore. We have a beautiful design now. I see it come through the city council motions all the time with other people doing banner promotions for their neighborhood council or for different events. We could try to do that. And that space is public space. So, Sun Men, just to answer your question about using it to generate funds, I don't think that's how it works. But we could use it to start promoting UNNC. We get those banners up on within the outskirts of our boundaries or on
Well,
the
Teresa,
main. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
well,
I'm
well,
talking too
well,
much. Sorry,
budget
go
day.
ahead, you guys.
Well, during budget day, we had who was it that spoke? Oh, God,
Yeah.
what's the district? Huh?
The
Ken,
city
Kenneth
Katie.
Mejia,
Katie Yaroslavsky, and she was talking about
Yaroslavsky.
how the city needed to generate more revenue, and she talked about the banners and the advertising, and she said that was bring revenue. And I was like, does it mean that if it's on our block in our district, that the revenue from those
No,
banners, that can we ask for that? Can we ask for those revenues? So did you ask her about it, or you looked into
Well,
it?
I don't think that's the normal process, but when you say we, once again, who do you mean? You want the funds to come into CD10 or you
I want the
want it?
funds to go to improve Jefferson Boulevard. If the banners are on Jefferson Boulevard, to go to Jefferson Boulevard. If they're on Washington Boulevard, to go to Washington Boulevard.
no,
If they're
That's
on
not how-
I don't
Adams,
think that's how it works. I don't know.
it's not.
Okay. This is
okay, then
Laura.
how does it work?
First of all,
How does it work?
one of the problems is that the production of the banners and the placement, physical hanging of the banners is a sole source. The company used to be called AAA Banner. I think it has a new name,
Okay,
but the city hasn't even renegotiated that contract. So
And Laura, maybe we can produce them at Print Depot. That is our go-to.
I'm telling you, the city has a contract with one company.
We don't have to use them. And maybe we can work with street services to put our banners up.
It's not,
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Let's
You're
look
saying
into
there's
it.
only
Let's
one
look
and I'm
into
just,
it.
the shocking thing is that unless things have changed, it's a sole source contract and only they can do it. We can't like find a cheaper way to do it because they do it. And there's just council motions that have to be renewed annually to even allow the banners to stay up. A Mid-City Neighborhood Council did a different idea, which was really, really expensive, but has proven to be the right idea. They got the little metal things that are permanent, that are also attached to the street
I
poles.
mean, maybe that's something that CD10 can advocate for us, from the city, and we can advocate for them to do that for us,
Well, but still, it's so freaking expensive that I don't know if it's the
Why
best
don't
use
we
of
just-
taxpayer, but in any case, it doesn't generate funds back to Sunbeam's, right? It generates.
Katie Yaroslavsky said that it did. So I'm just curious, did something
Let me-
change?
Okay, hold on a second.
Is something different, and
Yes, it
It's
is.
not-
Hold on a second.
Yes,
So
Teresa.
when there is Dine in LA, that's a
Yeah, Dine LA. It'll
Dine
be
LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all get together and they're going to do that. That's a banner program. They probably do generate, that gives money to the city to allow them to use the public space of a banner, of the post. So those are
Dine
not,
LA is a city effort. Dine LA comes,
no, I meant like, let's use through the road. Whenever they're having a special exhibit, they generate banners for the Egyptian exhibit or whatever it is that's happening at the Getty. So in those cases, the city probably leases them the space or has some arrangement for them to use that, and they have to pay a fee to be able to use that space for a month or 6 months while that exhibit is going on. That's kind of how that money and funding works. But once again, Son, I want to ask you, if that money, let's just go with this for a second, a banner project happens on Jefferson Boulevard, and we'll just say by some commercial entity, we're not even going to say it's a neighborhood council. You want that money to come through the council districts to be allocated to Jefferson Park, or to whom?
I would love to see the trees and the street lights repaired and all of that along the boulevard. And if the revenue, because I see Hell's Kitchen for Pantages being advertised all along Jefferson Boulevard on the other side of La Brea. So I know it's a commercial, post.
Take that. That's it wasn't Teresa's question. Let me say, I think Teresa's question is, if there's money to be got, let's say it's $10,000, who's supposed to receive it and then use it for streetlights and water? But who do you want to receive the money?
Whoever can repair and beautify the streets, depending on where the priorities.
Yeah, so we live in a city and it has rules about money in the budget and how it's allocated, and we, as a neighborhood council, don't have the power to change that.
Well, and even if we did, would we? I mean, in other words,
but we don't have the power to change it. We don't, so we can't continue down this road any further. We don't generate money, and that is currently the end of this. So,
and in terms,
but what we can do is advocate for us to partner with our other committees to increase participation and try to get more projects off the ground. That's what we can do here.
Well,
Okay, well, at the minimum, then, can I ask, can we get the UNNC banner that is hanging on this one particular post that is looking like it's trash now? Can we get that removed? Because it's litter at this point.
I can call. I have a contact at AAA. There's a particular person.
But also,
maybe
we should put in a request for 311 because it's a city banner.
Contract.
Yes, we could. I think that's a good idea. As many things as possible. Put in the request for 311 and then allow street services to get that. And then street services will put it on the list of all the other things and eventually get to it. But if we haven't heard anything in a month or so, then yes, Laura can reach out. I would like to say, Rabia, what do you think about us preparing a letter to CD10 to say we are working on a banner campaign, and we'd like to know if you know, we could probably figure it out here. If we look at enough city council motions, we'll come up with a motion or something and say, we'd like for you to support a motion to get funding for our street banner campaign. And even, this is just for possible future discussion, but maybe they're not the big banners. Maybe they're the ones that Laura's talking about, the metal ones that Mid-City has, or some other creative way so we can start marking these neighborhoods. I'll just go back. The HPOZ designated area in Jefferson Park does have beautiful signage for their, I think it's Jefferson Park, their street signs. Yes,
I mean, that is something paid for it.
Huh?
UNNC signs.
Okay,
but that was when we were rich. So we were rich. And now we aren't.
Laura, it's all about priorities. I mean, maybe one year we decide we're going to improve all the streets and we're going to do economic development. And we're going to do a bid and we're going to do it. So it's a big thing that we do with our funds directed toward that for the year. And then, you know.
I would like to support what you just said, Teresa. Like, I think that we had our retreat this year. We talked about our priorities, but everything was very broad. I would love for our next retreat to have like a more focused initiative or goal. Like, we want to make sure that we have our streetlights on. Maybe, you know, we can get them fixed, get solar, so we have less streetlight problems. You know, like that would be the focus for the year, and that would be how we like allocate our funds. And they would be very specific. We could have a little bit for NPGs, but really focus on this. Like, do we need to like, you know,
and we can You're right. And we can do community outreach with that. Say, okay, everybody in the community, this is what we're focusing on. We need you to send letters to the council district. Here's the motion, send a letter to the council file. Oh, it's going to be heard at council. So can you show up if you can to speak about the importance of it? So it's like an all out assault on whatever project,
And
whatever.
imagine if like every committee had one agenda item on it at every meeting to make sure that goes forward, and we gave them funds to do the outreach for that, to whatever the environment, to do what to have every committee focus in that one way for like a whole year, and like give the money to do the printing and like have the money to go distribute it in the neighborhood, like physical flyers, whatever that means. Like, I don't know. We're just talking, but I like that. Instead of just every governing board meeting, we just do what's there, which is great. I love helping the community. Laura.
Laura is asking a question. Since you're now with the budget advocates, which means you have really expert people to talk to ask just that internal question. Do other neighborhood councils have partner organizations that are able to fundraise, have received funds? Because for us, whether it's a banner or metal signs or whatever, our footprint is so large that the expense would be really well beyond what we could afford unless we had a way to receive other funds. So
we just do one area at a time.
Like, yes, Teresa, I understand that, but at the moment our funds are so limited that even that would be a challenge. But challenges are good. But if there is a way that other neighborhood councils are somehow receiving additional funds, I'd like to know.
Well, maybe it's also or maybe donation. But actually, since we're bringing this up very quickly, last item, the budget day people do not get any money from the city anymore. They used to get $10,000 a year. For the past 2 years, they have not gotten any money. So a lot of neighborhood councils have donated to them some money. So I would like to see if we can donate $250 to the budget day people. And they use it to put on budget day, and they use it to do administrative stuff, and also yes.
I support that. Do you need a motion on that?
Yes. Hang on. All I want you to do is send an email to Michael Soderstrom and myself and request that we put this on the agenda for executive committee for next Tuesday. It's a funding request.
And I will just say, I know we're trying to be very quick. For the past, since I've was on the board, I used to always attend the neighborhood Congress of Neighborhoods.
Yes, I want to go this.
So we want to put that one on.
Yeah, and I always recommend try to get the neighborhood council to, I said $1,000, but I think executive said 500, whatever it is, to also donate to that. It is a really, really wonderful event. So many good things happen. Such an opportunity to I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but to meet people and to find out what other people are doing. There are a lot of little good workshops. It's very much like budget day, but bigger and with a broader spectrum of topics. So, yeah.
And I was already planning to put that one also on the agenda, but noting that when executives did the budget in May, specifically deleted this item.
You can always change, Laura. Yes,
no,
I know.
I'm putting it back on, but they specifically faced with our budget realities. That was something Candace and everyone besides myself agreed to cut it out.
Yeah, well, that's why we have people to advocate. So, I mean, I'm no longer on the board, but as in the past, I was the one that was right there, talking about how important it was.
Well, it is. The Congress is very, very important. And of course, I've been sucked in and leading another session. And of course, it's from 3 to 4 o'clock on that day. So, of course, it's a whole day for me because, I'll go on.
Is it planning, Laura? I assume.
Oh, of course, it's got to do with land use. Yeah, planning.
All right.
But yes.
I I think we're going to end item number 5. I feel like
We kind of just did
6
item number 6.
and 5 were kind of the same, so thank you so much for coming. I do feel like we had really good conversations, and we'll continue to do this, and I'm gonna try to come and support planning.
Do you want to ask them to be a treaters?
Oh, do you guys want to be, well, I'm not ready to make that commitment
Oh,
yet.
okay.
But
What was the comment?
Oh, we're whispering. Robbie sort of
I said,
expressed the desire to maybe make her meetings 100% in person.
but
And
In
I said,
person? Why not Zoom?
so she likes
Oh.
in person.
I do like in person. I'm not like opposed to doing the Zoom. I just went to the Sherman Oaks meeting and they don't have any Zoom, so I was curious. I was like, what? Why?
It's a
Well,
long
when
story,
Teresa
which
set up
I could tell you. I'm not gonna do it now, but yes, I can tell you all about it.
But didn't we, when we voted, we basically agreed that any chairperson could decide go whichever way they want.
Whatever they wanted, hybrid, in person, or all Zoom. So if you just want to do in person, it's totally up to the chairperson.
Or you can do occasional adjustments.
Maybe occasionally. And I'll check with people. This way, like, you know, if everybody can come in person, then, you know, I guess I have to start like an email about this or something.
You know, best practice for running a committee, broadly speaking, is sort of identify your core people, however you do it, and make a little e-list so that when you do your agenda, you send it out to see if they, you know.
Yeah.
So they get it even before everybody else. You know,
Yes.
but, yeah, I mean, that's the way one. And so for me, for the planning and zoning, at this point, Steve Pickman is sending out to myriad people, which is great, but he doesn't do it if I have only Harvard State stuff. So,
Laura, I wanted to ask you just regarding the UNNC budget. Is there a timeline when CD10 is moving into the CIM building? Because we know it.
another thing I need to check, follow up.
Right. Okay.
Because that's
Rabia,
$4,000 per in.
Yes.
yeah, Rabia, once we eliminate the cost of storage, we will have additional funding. So,
Correct.
Because we spend so much on store. Well, I don't know, the 4 years.
4,000 or so a year.
Yeah. So.
Well, it was definitely eye-opening to realize at our last meeting that we get that space for free because that corporation lets us use it.
No,
Yeah.
well, let's
Yeah.
clarify that. That's because Laura was on the ball when that, when the Hollywood Housing Association got that land and started building the housing. Laura advocated and said, we would like for you to make that community space available to the neighborhood council. That was, you know, we have to be on the ground with these developers. That's what I used to do with the trees before the mayor changed everything. As soon as we got a developer, let's talk about the trees. What kind of trees you're going to have? How are you going to maintain them? What's going to happen with that? So that's a really good advocacy to get, and that's what Laura did with the Wilton Place, Gramercy Place use.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, we're gonna adjourn. We'll have another meeting in 2 months, and then by then I'll have gone to all the meetings.
Okay,
Thank
great
you.
meeting. Sorry I talked so much.
Thank you,
No,
everyone.
no, thank you for everyone for participating.